extent, and I hope I'm right here. I hope you agree with me. To a certain extent, sometimes the exchange rate is messed around with speculation. When people just start speculating, oh, I speculate this, and then everybody's in agreement. So now people will pull a certain currency over the other, because you can make money off, the exchange rate. That's where those forex traders, people, it's now become a thing to be to
Yeah.
have the forex app on your phone and make money and do that type of thing. And yeah. So my question to us ordinary Zambians, can we let's speculate to us ordinary Zambians, how can we take advantage of, because basically what we're saying for this year, the dollar has been up, now it's coming down. So those changes,
Yeah.
how can we take advantage of it as an ordinary Zambian? I'm here. Yeah.
So I always advise people that speculate, that it's just a matter of time, though. Speculation is good, it's all right, but it has a very minimal impact on driving the currency circulation, because at the end of the day, it's about what's there, what's really there. Okay, so of course the kwacha started appreciating based on fundamentals, but the speculators also started coming in. Okay, so these are people that will just move the market around based on things that they think they are seeing against the things that are actually there. Okay, so this one guy tells the other guy, I think the dollar is gonna go this way, and then they start impulse buying or impulse selling or doing whatever it is based on whatever it is that they think is gonna happen. And then we have other people that would actually say it's because HH is winning. We've got presidential elections coming, and HH is going to win elections, and we have all those people making all those assumptions. Look, you're a trader. Whatever makes you sleep at night, you can actually go ahead and trade based on that. I mean, you can just say it's because birds are flying to the left, or the sun is rising from the east, or whatever. You can speculate based on whatever it is. But at the end of the day, if it's not based on true and factual fundamentals, the exchange rate is always going to kick back up. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, so speculation only runs for that long, and yes, we have colleagues that trade on apps. Those I think, what are they called, multi trader, or those? Yeah, we have our colleagues that trade on those. I'm yet to find out if they can directly trade Kwacha on those. I'm yet to find out, because I know the platform that has Kwacha is Reuters, if I'm not mistaken. Reuters is normally the platform that has Kwacha. So yeah, based on speculation, it can only run for so long. Okay, but if somebody told me it's because of gold, or it's because of dollar receivables, or it's because of the SDR deal with the IMF, I would be keen to trade with a guy that actually sees the market in that way, than a guy that just feels like, okay, it's because of this, and I'm gonna do this. Oh no, because I just feel like I've got a hunch. So I wouldn't want to go in that direction with the traders.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about for me, I also feel one benefit. Of course, we have our colleagues that deal on the apps, and they're doing this forex and whatever. They're going to make their money. They know the patterns. But for me, one thing I think I'd like to emphasize, especially for those that are watching, is it's also an opportunity for our exporters.
Yes.
If you produce, for example, one of the easiest things for our people to export is agricultural products and things like that. So now whenever you find a market that is out of the country, when you are saying, okay, I want to sell at a higher price, but the Zambian market is not willing to pay you. Now, if you go to another country, they'll be willing to pay, because when they do the dollar transaction, it's cheaper to buy from Zambia than it is to buy from another country that has a strong currency. So for now, like Zambians, this is a great opportunity. Of course, the kwacha is appreciating compared to the dollar, but it's somewhat in the same range. Okay, but not really in the same range. But now that people behave funny. Now that the kwacha is appreciating, you might find our exports increase, our imports increase, so it bounces back. But whenever our kwacha is weaker, it is an opportunity for us to really just export and get that forex. But do you think that this drop in kwacha will go beyond election day?
Okay. So, from the last point that you made, I actually want to agree with you very much, because I know a couple of car dealers that are already taking advantage of this period, importing cars and doing what. And actually, it's very true. A lot of just ordinary citizens can take advantage of this low rate before it goes back up. Who knows? Okay, so I think that's a gold question that everybody else is asking. The market is anxious. Everybody is talking about the possibilities. Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing. What we know about the exchange rate, normally during times of elections, is that it does depreciate a little bit. The kwacha depreciates a little bit, and this is all because of the spend. Okay, so we have like what we can more or less call a demand for inflation. Why? Because of campaigns. Campaigns. First of all, get swap. Yeah, you have that. And now I need to confirm the abolishment of this whole road tax. Okay. And
you
then,
know that one.
yeah,
I don't think it's true, but
you don't think
okay.
it's true, yeah. But you know, so like, yeah, but
It's going to, you know what, due in September to buy our road tax. And
yeah,
anyway, go ahead.
you know, yeah, okay, we are here to confirm that. But you have these things that happen, and you have the ruling government and the opposition governments going out there spending a lot of money on campaigns, either giving out, buying stuff and giving out to the prospective voters and everybody. There's a lot of government spending during this period that we see the kwacha begin to depreciate. It's caused by that in most cases, in most election years. But this year, it's been quite unconventional, obviously because of COVID. Okay, so
Yeah.
so obviously we are not seeing a lot of rallies as much as we would love to see them. So they're actually going out there, but in a few places they're very moderate about it. They're very modest about it. They're not so aggressive. But in the other years, if you check 2016, you will see how the kwacha behaved in just about 2 months, 3 months before the elections, or a month before the elections. You would see that there was a bit of some depreciation that actually went on. But again, why I say it's quite unconventional is because now we are also in a debt position. We are in negotiations with the IMF. We have all these structures that we think they're going to put in place. All right, quite unconventional, and I expect very large high volatility between now and December, and also maybe probably going into next year. There'll be a very high volatility, currency volatility, in that we expect highs and lows. Okay, based on so many factors. So obviously, when the IMF comes in, what we assume, when the IMF comes in, there's going to be some conditions that may be put in place. And like we discussed, you and I, last week, about the possibilities of them, going for the energy sector, because this is where, a lot of us Zambians have benefited. If you look at the markets right now, our oil demands is one of the lowest in the market. If you look at it in dollar terms, we are one of the lowest in the market, and some of these are some of the issues that multilaterals will come and target and want to speak about. So they're talking about, okay, if you guys are largely indebted, then why are you doing these things?
Why are you spinning?
Yeah, why can't you let the costs reflect the production? Those are the kind of questions that they want to ask. But some of the things that we suspected why the IMF deal may not have closed before the elections, because we know maybe some of the policies may have made the ruling government quite unpopular, and people don't want to talk about increased power or increased fuel right before the elections. You would rather hear debt swap negotiation or abolishment of tax. Those are things that will make people smile, confuse them a little bit, but not before the election period. So those are some of the conversations that are being speculated, or assumptions that are being made. So but again, just one last point that I could make on this: the importance of the IMF coming in is also, it's also good for the international markets out there, because you like we discussed last week, you would rather see a bigger body in the country tell you, a bond investor or a debt holder, a debt instrument holder, that this country is good for its money. So, and then you will see a lot of offshore investors who are targeting emerging and frontier markets to come into your market to actually invest and buy those bonds. And we saw that just on the 23rd of July when we had oversubscription of bonds. Why? Because there's also this deal that is coming, the SDR deal that is possibly closing at the end of August, and bondholders want to see those kind of deals. So those are the things that can also make the Kwacha appreciate. Yeah, basically that's where it stands. Yeah.
And this is what actually like you said, that was a golden question. Will we see this even after election? We are all speculating, and on speculation, actually, somebody called me up. Actually, a number of people called me up and like, so what do you think? What's happening with the dollar, the Kwacha? And now nobody wants to touch the dollar because it's like a hot potato, because you don't know on Wednesday at what price it's going to be trading at. You know what I mean? So now there we have speculation, and because there's no demand pool, so the sense of it is that not many people are demanding it, so it may drop even more, because maybe people are like, until I'm,
yeah.
Those that bought it at 23 Kwacha, 22 Kwacha, they're not going to say, whoa, let me drop it before it reaches. Last time there was a prediction on news, one of these news articles or TV stations, and there was a statement to say we might see it getting to as low as 15 Kwacha. If you bought it at 22 Kwacha, you might want to get rid of it at 18 or 19 Kwacha. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you might find yourself in the loss.
Yeah, you might. So it's now a hot potato. So nobody wants to touch it. Like, hey, no. So it's pretty exciting. I think these elections are very, very exciting. Not because of all the politics, but when we actually look at it from first of all, we have COVID. So all participants have to get creative with how they're going to reach their voters and convince somebody. And even as a voter myself, I feel like I haven't heard enough about, who I'm voting for. I'm almost tempted to go, like, for my constituency. I'm in Munali constituency. I'm almost tempted to go on these pages. Like, what are you saying? Because I'm not finding them. When I listen to the radio, I can't hear them. And what are you saying? Where are you? What are you going to do for me? And these are the problems that check out on their Facebook. So now we have, from my perspective anyway, we have a situation where as a voter, you are now looking for this information. Before it was like all over, right?
Yes.
And then the next thing is that, like you said, there used to be a lot of spending during elections, whether government spending because of security issues, and political parties are spending, they are, printing things, because actually this season for printing companies, it's like heaven, they make a lot of money. All printing companies, whether big or small, they make good money. Yeah, but I don't think they've made as much, or maybe they're still printing, but because there are not as many rallies, and now we're seeing them virtually, so it's something else.